This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
I could have swear I left them in here. Where could they be?
If money wasn't an issue, would you actually go out and spend all of your money on a full range of like Holy Trinity zoom lenses with f2.8 apertures? Or would you prefer to spend all that money on the photography trip of a lifetime? But all you can take is a cheap camera with a little Pancake lens.
Do I just go to Patagonia with my Lumix? Or do I just go to Big Tesco with my Leica?
You know, anytime you get a new piece of gear, like a brand new high-end 2.8 zoom, for example, all of the excitement around shooting with it comes before you shoot with it. It's when you order it, when you're waiting for it to arrive, and then just before you actually shoot. Then you go out on a photo walk, only to come back with essentially the same shots that you would have taken on your old kit zoom or on your old prime lens.
Oh well, I guess I need a 1.4 lens instead.
Not in there either. Ah, I know where they are. You might recognise these lenses already, but if you're unfamiliar, allow me to introduce you. So here we have two of my favourite Pancake lenses that I've ever shot with. One is the Lumix 17mm f1.7, and the other is this Lumix 14mm f2.5. Here's the 1.7, which this is the second copy of this lens I've ever owned. I sold it the first time. I won't be selling it a second time. And this one's actually in kind of like the silver grey colour, which I think makes it 2-3 times as nice as before. Good maths. And the 14mm f2.5, which I've talked about recently, I first shot with Emily's copy of this lens from Micro Four Nerds, of course. And yeah, these are two pretty solid all-rounder prime lenses for the Micro Four Thirds mount. Last year, when I had the all-black version of this setup, I took this to Corfu on like a family holiday, super small camera, and to be honest, I ended up shooting, for the most part, images that were completely different to what I was used to shooting. I was used to shooting in busier, greyer cities in the UK, but being there in Corfu by the coast, I mean, I'm not complaining. But the scenes that I was shooting were much quieter, fewer subjects, sometimes zero human subjects, and just trying to photograph interesting different things that I wouldn't usually photograph.
Just blueberries and coffee in here. Oh well. I guess it's time to talk about the sponsor of this video, Squarespace.
If you don't have a website for your photography, you are missing out. It's your unique home on the internet for your fans to enjoy and support your work. Squarespace removes all of the headaches. You can even choose to create a fully custom website with Blueprint AI, which creates a tailored website for your style and personality. You can update your fans easily via an email newsletter using Squarespace's email campaign tools. You can then write, publish, and view the analytics right in your Squarespace dashboard. Try Squarespace for free at squarespace.com. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/GeorgeHolden to save 10% off your first purchase of website or domain. Photography is really only 5 to 10% about the gear you're using. In fact, it should be less than that, but we all know gear does matter at the end of the day. But what really matters most of the time, 90 to 95% of the time, is where you are shooting with your camera and the subjects you are choosing to include in the frame of your shots. Sure, we can photograph interesting things around the corner. Like there's the amount of times I've been out shooting in Manchester, 10-minute walk from my flat, and I've shot something that I really liked. You know, if you go out and show up with your camera and pay attention, there's interesting stuff everywhere. But going out to new and interesting places with different colours, different activities, different cultures, you're going to see a lot more and be able to document a variety of things, and things that might be new and shiny to you that ignite your creativity with photography. When you are photographing the same scenes all the time, it can become a bit dull. So even if you are taking an everyday carry camera with you, you can get a bit fed up shooting the same streets, looking for the same shots. You know, it can be quite monotonous. So a change of pace every once in a while keeps photography feeling fresh. And I think when photography does start to feel this kind of like monotonous, like stale, like weird ruts that we get into, we sometimes then go, cool, well, I'm gonna sell my camera and buy a different camera or something like that. And we think that the camera is gonna make the difference. But actually, if we just held on to the camera that we have, and then we fly to a different country or we take a train somewhere else for an interesting event or something like that, and we photograph somewhere new and interesting, your old camera is suddenly going to feel plenty enough, but you're actually putting yourself somewhere interesting to photograph life. Because if you go where life is happening, you are going to have great photos. And of course, if you like the colors in the images you're seeing right now, you can have these colors for yourself. When you pick up my Kodak film stock presets, my Fujifilm film stock presets, or my Naturally Film It presets. And you can save by getting all 3 of these preset packs together in a 3-pack bundle, and viewers of this video can save an extra 20% at checkout by using this unique code. These are some of the best film simulation presets you can buy, and I use these in 100% of the images that you see me share on my portfolio, in my newsletter, on Instagram, and in YouTube videos. So if you want to go check out more examples and pick them up for yourself, go over to my website, which is linked in the description below. There's something to be said for using a camera with low expectations and minimum faff. It's something that just gets out of the way and gets you back to focusing on photography with no expectations of taking a world-changing image. That doesn't mean though that you're not still focused on the process of photography, but it just makes you stop overthinking about, am I getting the most out of this camera? Am I using the lens to its brightest aperture or anything like that? Why would you want to spend thousands of pounds or thousands of dollars to be burdened by a heavy camera that feels like work even when you're going out for a casual photo session? Now sure, I have a camera for that, and I respect why you do that sometimes, to go out and shoot to the max of your camera's potential. But if you've actually gotten okay at photography, if you actually know how to use a camera, that stuff should just be second nature. And you shouldn't need to have the best camera all the time to take a good photo, because funnily enough, it's about the photography, the photographer shooting the photography, not the camera. So if I give you an old compact camera or an old film camera, I would expect that you can take as good of a photo as whether I gave you a brand new full-frame mirrorless camera. It's about you as a photographer, not about the camera you're shooting with.
Well, I guess these boxes aren't going to pack themselves. What is that? Something's not quite right there. Okay. Oh! Oh, you're joking. Oh, there's another one. Oh! You guys, always finding your way up there.